Hello and welcome to a 1v1 cast on Quest Heresy. Starting off we have Tex playing as the Warlock, and on the red side we have Ser Topi playing as a very yellow Chaos Sorcerer here. By the looks of it, they are both playing random in the chat. Well, I'm not sure if Ser Topi is playing random or not, but I think Tex was probably playing random and ended up with the Warlock. So both players starting off with standard capping order, grabbing their natural power, moving over to the center as well to capture the VP's requisition points and power. Tex actually rushing for the double power. See that quite commonly on Eldar players throughout the game. And both players going to go for a standard build. So we're going to go for double heretics, Tex going to go for double dire avengers. DCSM not behind the green cover will take a slightly bit more damage compared to if they were behind green cover from the Warlock's range attack. The Destructor will do some nice damage on them as well. The Destructor was changed in the most recent patch to actually do psychic damage to make its damage a bit more consistent. Also does a little bit of extra damage now to heavy infantry and super heavy infantry. And also fires 2 bolts instead of 1, with each bolt doing half the amount of damage as before. CSM are getting infiltrated here by some Marcus Inc. worshipped. Banshees also in combat, going to be jumping onto the CSM here. Heretics need to get into combat, but Heretics are going to be jumping onto some Dire Avengers. The worshipping Heretics jumping onto the Banshees here. Channeling runes very early here for Tex. This will make it a fight 1 for him. The Chaos Sorcerer has absolutely nothing to interrupt this Warlock from healing. Banshees going to be needing to come back and actually jump these heretics. These heretics could go down if the Banshees are still on the retreat path, which they are. When a Warlock is doing the channeling runes, you need to knock over the Warlock to actually stop the channeling runes from working, but as a Chaos Sorcerer you don't actually have anything very early to actually deal with it unless you actually buy some very quick grenade launchers at the same time as the channeling runes come up. But most of the time you can't really predict that and you kind of just need to give up the fight. But the Heretics did actually live though with 1 model. Ser Topi making his way back out of base, and Tex is in control of the majority of the map. Ser Topi is in control of 2 VPs however. The Warlock is just going to sprint to that right hand VP by the looks of things. Banshees do need to be a bit careful here. Are going to get flanked by the entire army here actually. Not the entire army, and Heretics still in base, but CSM will pick off some models. Banshees actually running away from the VP. They might go back though. Dire Avengers coming into mid, going to get hit by some Doom Bolts here. One squad is actually forced away from the Doom Bolts. Do not lose any models though. Havoc's also accidentally setting up the wrong way around. That's just a bug that happens sometimes. Chaos Sorcerer going to consume a Heretic there, grants him a small amount of health and a lot of energy, allowing him to cast Doom Bolts. And as you saw, he did try to cast it onto some Banshees over there, but actually ended up missing because he consumed some more Heretics. And with the cheaper Heretic cost, you can definitely consume as many Heretics as you want. It does cost about 11 requisition to reinforce Heretics, so 11 requisition to get Sorcerer back up to full energy so you can cast some Doom Bolts could be worth it. Tex though, still no tier 1.5 unit, has just opted for some upgrades. We do see double aspect to the Avenger, giving the Dire Avengers a grenade ability. We also have aspect of strength on the Banshees as well. And the Warlock still with his channeling runes. Tex just opting for a lot of upgrades instead of tier 1.5 units. Meanwhile, Ser Topi gonna go for those tier 1.5 units in the form of Havocs and also Noise Marines, which are getting built right now. Noise Marines going to be extremely effective actually against Tex's army. And some more Doom Bolts onto the ground. This Heretic squad down to just 3 models. I think the Sorcerer has been consuming a bit too many Heretics here. Does pick up a Dire Avenger model. Does also get a special attack. Banshees coming in for the flank though. These Heretics should go down here. Banshees going to be chasing them. The Warlock will leap onto them. Banshees going to focus down second set of Heretics. Dire Avengers going to get forced away. Those Heretics might go down, but the suppression from the Havocs is actually going to slow the Banshees down enough here. And Havoc's remaining set up, the Banshees will struggle to do much. They're going to try and jump onto these Noise Marines, taking a lot of damage. Noise Marines with their flame damage extremely effective against this very tightly grouped up bunch of Banshees. And some melee from the CSM. Surprisingly no models down though. But that does mean that Tex's Banshees will be stuck in base for quite some time, but he's actually got a webway gate building, and the webway gate for the Warlock does actually grant health regen to all units in the area. So the Banshees should be able to get out of base fairly quickly. And Ser Topi is going to move in with a push here. Double Dire Avengers moving up, but Havoc's going to be protecting this bash. Ser Topi does have 3 generators of his own. Noise Marine is also very effective against Dire Avengers. I don't believe that they're flame resistant infantry, so they do slightly more damage to Dire Avengers than what they would do to Banshees. Dire Avengers coming back in. Tech's going to be the first one to tier 2. Ser Topi's actually quite far behind from tier 2. He's actually spent a lot of power apparently. I'm not actually sure he spent the power on, or if he's just got his power quite late in comparison to Tech's here. But no upgrades on the Chaos Sorcerer yet. We do not have any upgrades on the CSM, or actually do we have the... no upgrades for Ser Topi this game so far. Banshee's going to be fleeting in here though. Havoc's forced to unset up Cacophony, going to be knocking back the Banshees and allow these Havocs some time to reset up at a further back location. Do need to be careful of a retreat grenade. Noise Marines though do get out. In fact, they don't even need to retreat away, they're actually able to rely on the Havocs. We actually have the channeling runes on the Dire Avengers. It's going to be a difficult push for the Dire Avengers to make. They're taking a bit too much damage here. Do retreat away. I think Tech should back away from this fight. He's just getting suppressed and there's not much that he can do in this push in such a tight little avenue here. Warlock will still remain on the field though, and we'll try and get rid of these Noise Marines. They actually do tear down that power node. It does allow the special knock back that Sorcerer, but getting suppressed once again. Tex is tier 2 though, could get out a fast vehicle to ruin Ser Topi. That is another generator down, some very nice power bashing here though. Will prevent any kind of Falcon coming out. We do actually have an Exarch for the Banshees instead though. And we also have Warp Throat as well, which should be quite useful. Ser Topi though in control of a lot of the map right now. Also a triple cap for him. Does have a slight VP advantage with 20 VPs, and that will only continue to grow while he's on a triple cap. He's actually going to walk through the Havocs in here. Could see some nice grenade play. Cacophony though is going to prevent the Banshees from leaping onto the Havocs, but at the same time the Havocs unable to actually do much as well. They're getting knocked back by their own unit here. Noise Marines and Havoc's going to be running away. Banshee's going to be fleeting in here though. In fact, that's not the fleet, that's the Warlock Global speed boost. In fact, that could be a dead Noise Marine squad. It is a dead Noise Marine squad. Could also... it's actually getting the channeling runes once again. Has used the Warp Throat once and can now switch back between the War Gears. CSM going to be fighting some Dire Avengers out in the open. Dire Avengers are going to lose this fight though. CSM, very tanky units. And Dire Avengers will make use of that aspect of the Avenger upgrade and dump a shield down onto the ground and use that so they can take no damage from range. CSM going to fall back behind some green cover. Could even cap this power node while they're there as well. Banshee's going to be running away. The Aspiring Champion upgrade coming in here for Ser Topi, who is now taken up to tier 2 as well, but still has a significant power advantage given that he still has his triple generators. He did lose a generator, he's actually replaced one of the generators.
Adding support structure.
Banshee's going to be coming in here. CSM will need to back away now. Ser Topi might go for a fast Blood Crusher. Does need to be careful of the Banshee Exarch, who does heavy melee, but the Blood Crusher does have enough abilities to actually protect itself, and the Chaos Sorcerer can always warp out as well if it gets a bit too much in trouble. Dire Avengers over here could throw a point blank grenade onto these heretics. Do throw a grenade to scare them off, doesn't actually scare them off that much. But Banshee's going to be coming in. Dire Avengers going to be running around a shot blocker here, and Heretics are going to try and tie them up. And Heretics now switching over to the Chaos, switching over to the Banshees here. Some Doom Bolts onto the ground. Banshees should win this fight, especially now that Heretics have lower Doom Bolt damage and lower damage overall. Channeling Runes as well is also going to secure this fight, but the Demonic Summoning is actually going to force Tex away here. That's 200 red gone note for Ser Topi, and that Blood Crusher is coming out of base fairly soon. That Demonic Summoning also allowing the Heretics to reinforce back up to 9 models as well, does provide reinforcements as well as spawning a train of Bloodletters. And the Chaos Sorcerer going to be getting the Rod of Warp Fire, very effective war gear in both ranged and melee. Gives you actually 35 piercing range DPS, or you can use it in melee for about 50 melee DPS. I believe it's 50 melee DPS. And also the Warp Fire ability is actually quite an expensive ability at 65 energy, but it does do plasma cannon damage in a line. Very nice for disrupting units. So it was 50 melee DPS, 80 plasma cannon damage, and also does weapon knockback as well. A Shrine is also up on the field there as well, and Ser Topi is going to be worshipping that. That Blood Crusher does need to be a bit careful, and these Dire Avengers also need to be careful, taking a lot of damage will be forced to retreat back to base. The Blood Crusher forced away from this generator's farm by a squad of Wraithguard, who have now just got a Warlock leading them as well, giving them a speed boost. The Warlock also does provide the same bonus, but sometimes you don't want your Warlock next to your Wraithguard all the time. Warp Throw repurchase can actually throw in the Banshees and also catching out the Sorcerer from the Domino knockback effect. Havocs though are stealthed hit from these Heretics partially. Some of them were still worshipping. Blood Crusher going to be tying up this Wraithguard squad. Heretics no longer worshipping. Havocs repositioning. Wraithguard do need to be careful that when the Warlock dies that leads the squad, or any one of Warlock that dies next to them, they do actually get stunned and the squad does actually take damage. We have the Dire Avengers both moving over to the right hand side. Meanwhile, this Blood Crusher is going to be very annoying on the right hand side. Could see a grenade here. Eternal War on the CSM. The grenade's going to be on the same spot. It's going to catch out in that mid model and do a lot of damage to them. Banshees with Channeling Runes able to fight the Blood Crusher here, but the Warlock does need to be a little bit careful here of the Havoc squad. CSM trying to melee down these Dire Avengers did do a decent job of holding them here, but the Dire Avengers are going to win that fight overall. The double grenades actually doing a lot of damage and going to cause them to actually lose their engagement. Some Fire Dragons on the field, very effective against the Blood Crusher, very effective against this Shrine of Zinc here as well. Very effective against everything with that melted damage, also buying the Exarch to lead them as well. Wraithguard will actually be able to get some nice shots here onto the Havoc squad. They're actually missing the model by the looks of it. Looks like they hit a little bit to the left there. Blood Crusher does need to be careful. The VP is ticking down to 119 VPs to 395. It's currently a 1-1 cap right now for both players, so VPs are neutral. Havoc's going to get pulled in here. No grenades in the area though to make use of that, but the Havocs will be forced to retreat as they're a bit too far forward. The Dire Avengers still on the right hand side doing some capping, cap the Requisition and VP on the right hand side. Webway Gate also getting placed down as well, unless Ser Topi actually moves these Heretics away from the Shrine, which I don't think he will. That Webway Gate might go undetected for the rest of the game. Channeling Runes down to these Wraithguard, going to do a good job protecting them from losing another model. That could be a dead Blood Crusher. We'll be able to barely scrape out of there, also gain worshipped as well. It is demonic, so it does get extra health regen from gain worshipped. Wraithguard going to be able to tear down the Shrine fairly easily. And Ser Topi is just going to have to pull back a little bit to actually have a second Heretic squad here for Ser Topi. No upgrade on them yet though. And the CSM been upgraded to Mark of Khorne as well. Some point blank grenades. Ser Topi on point though is able to dodge them. These Dire Avengers definitely not able to fight that, and a Blood Crusher charging in melee as well. Could be a dead Dire Avenger squad here. Looks like they will be able to barely get away there with 100 HP. Banshee's Wraithguard coming in from the left hand side. The Chaos Sorcerer needs to be extremely careful. He's very low, might need to consume a Heretic just for a sliver of health right now. Blood Crusher also needs to be a bit careful. He's only got 400 HP, and the Fire Dragons that are here with the Banshee Exarch. Banshee Exarch will do a lot of damage as well with the heavy melee. That is a dead Blood Crusher. Mark of Khorne, CSM going to go in. Fire Dragons are heavy infantry now, will take bonus damage from the power melee. They are gaining Channeling Runes though on them. Sorcerer could actually use Rod of Warp Fire to actually knock over the Warlock. Heretics coming in. I don't think Ser Topi can win this fight. The Banshees are full health. We do have the Demonic Summoning, but the Heretics are just getting too low right now, not reinforcing in time. Aspiring Champion, heavy infantry, taking bonus damage from Banshee's power melee. The Warlock might go down here. Wait, he will go down. Fire Dragons running away. Chaos Sorcerer could also go down, 100 HP. Banshees absolutely decimate him on retreat. He's instantly repurchased, in fact. You can just see him now. Warlock might also get repurchased for Tex once he gets enough red. Not red, but Requisition. Currently he is extremely starved in that regard, only on 40 Requisition in the bank. These Heretics gain the Aspiring Champion. The previous Aspiring Champion Heretics lost in that previous engagement and does need some detection for these Webway Gates, and the Aspiring Champion also providing some tankiness as well when supporting other units. But Ser Topi down a lot of units, but is up a lot of VPs right now. 97 VPs for 338, still a okay, it's now a 1-1 cap. Now Dire Avengers did decap this, and some Fire Dragons to the left hand side going to decap that, going to make it a 2-0 cap for Tex in a second. Chaos Sorcerer coming back in, getting the Robes of Torment, gives the Chains of Torment ability, allows you to snare units in place.
We have succeeded in our
prevent those Banshees from getting in. We do also have the Chaos Dreadnought on the field as well. No upgrades for him yet. The Rod of Warpfire there is going to tear down the energy shield. Doesn't actually do any damage to these Dire Avengers though, because of that energy shield being up. They're getting suppressed now. They're trying to put down another energy shield, but the Dreadnought's just going to walk up and actually just run over the energy shield itself. The webway gate, I imagine, is going to get detected here. You can see a little red glow underneath, so it must be getting detected at this point. Fire Dragon still on the left hand side though, and Dreadnought is going to melee it down as well. Very slowly melee it down. Havocs though in mid do need to be a bit careful. They're taking a lot of damage from these Fire Dragons. If Fire Dragons don't get suppressed very easily, they do actually have 200 courage total. In fact, that could be a dead Havoc squad. They're going to get chased down. They will actually go down. I think that was also the Warlock Global as well. You can actually see all the units are sped up across the map. So that was the Warlock Global speeding up the Fire Dragons as well, allowing them to chase down that Havoc squad. Heretics going to suppress the Banshees. Heretics do need to get out of there. They are getting a little bit low right now. Wraithguard on the right hand side of Market Horn CSM could go and tie them up. They do have the Aspiring Champion, and Banshees are elsewhere on the map. These double Fire Dragons are going to tear down this generator farm so quickly. Looks like Dreadnought's going to tie up those Wraithguard, and the Market Corn CSM going to come in from behind with some Heretics here. Bloodless is getting purchased here for Ser Topi. Some Heretics have gone down somewhere. I've just seen Heretics go down, but I'm not actually sure where the Heretics were that went down. I know the Heretics are mid, but there was 2 sets of Heretics again for Ser Topi. Bloodlesses though don't actually have any worship near, and they really need to be careful. They don't actually have enough for a phase shift. They are forced away. The Heretics weren't here in time. Banshee's going to be fighting these Market Corn CSM, not the most effective against Banshees in the one-on-one match, especially with the double Fire Dragon support, but the Chaos Dreadnought here will be enough to force it off. Those Banshees, and now the Fire Dragons getting snared by the Chains of Torment, not able to run away, will also be forced to retreat away as well. 96 VPs to 209 double Dire Avengers on the right hand side, still capping around. Ser Topi just lacking units right now. He has lost quite a few units so far this game. You could even see this Dreadnought actually upgrade to Mark of Corn, although with the double Fire Dragons in the field might not be the best choice. But Bloodlesses though do need some worship, still a little bit low on health here. The Aspiring Champion gain repurchase for these Mark of Corn CSM as well. Some worship Bloodlesses could do some wonders here, presuming that they don't get interrupted while getting worshipped. Or assuming that the Heretics don't die as well. Gain some more Havoc though for Ser Topi. Could even go all in here and go for double Bloodletters, to be honest. Can be quite a strong build, although Heretics do need to be on full models if you're going to be doing that, or you need to have double Heretics just so you can actually have enough worship support for double Bloodletters. But Tex has a lot of heavy infantry in the form of Wraithguard and Fire Dragons, and double Bloodletters can be very annoying to actually force off. But the Bloodletters do need to be careful. They're going a bit too far. They're getting outside of worship range. They really are getting outside of worship range, and they will go down. You do need to be careful not to overextend your Bloodletters when getting worship, because without that worship they are extremely vulnerable. Only 1200 HP, and it's infantry HP as well. So there's going to be a dead Bloodlesser squad. We do have double Havocs here for Ser Topi. I'm not sure where they are. Market Corn CSM and Heretics though on the field do need to be careful. These Banshees, level 4, are just doing so much work. Wraithguard getting taken down here by the Dreadnought. Destructor as well. And you can even see text by the Merciless Witchblade, the Witchblade of Kernus. The Ethereal Slash ability is extremely effective against melee, especially against if Heretics actually try to come into combat. It will pretty much instantly wipe them if they get in the wrong position. So we could see that get purchased for Tex, and also it does 70 power melee DPS, which does a lot against heavy infantry. The Market Corn CSM will struggle to fight the Warlock as well. This webway gate undetected though, and Warlock going to be bouncing off Banshee's going to be running out of here. It's actually going to be a dead CSM squad. Very unfortunate they didn't detect this gate. The Heretics were slightly too far away there. And that would be another shrine going down here. Banshees getting healed up here, out of range of that Warlock though, trying to run up to these Havocs in point blank. Double Fire Dragons, they're going to flank these Havocs, I'd imagine. They're actually getting suppressed though. Wraithguard trying to focus down that Dreadnought, should focus down the Havocs instead, because the Havocs are static. The Fire Dragons though are going to be able to run away. The Dreadnought's not meleeing them down anymore. It does need to melee down the squad so that it can't actually get any shots onto the Dreadnought. In fact, might even need to get warped out here by the Chaos Sorcerer. Sorcerer does actually have enough energy to warp the Dreadnought out. Ring needs to warp it out and keep it alive right now. Really needs to warp this out. Otherwise, if it goes down, then Ser Topi won't actually have much of an army left. He still doesn't actually have much of an army in comparison to Tex right now, but very riskily going to keep the Dreadnought in here, and it's actually going to do a lot of work and actually pay off for him. Grenade getting thrown onto these heretics as well as they try and force off these double dire Avengers on retreat. Wraithguard going to be losing some models here. Level 3 Wraithguard as well, actually. And Dreadnought also level 2, going to get some much needed repairs from these heretics. Destructor on them as well. 96 VPs to 137. Ser Topi did have a massive VP lead earlier, but it's actually starting to lose this VP lead. He's only 40 VPs ahead right now. Warlock running in does actually have the Distort Field on him right now, taking less range damage. Second set of heretics coming in. Another aspiring champion on these heretics as well. That's a lot of power invested on heretic aspiring champions. Distort Field not very effective against melee, and will actually get the Warlock potentially killed here. He's very low. That Storm Bolter and Autocannon doing a lot of damage on retreat. 5 HP, yep, he will go down overall. Double Dire Avengers on that right hand side. Chaos Sorcerer here as well. Level 4, going to get some more XP here from meleeing down these Dire Avengers. That Rod of Warp Fire, very effective tool in both melee and ranged. Against infantry at least anyway. And some Doombots onto these Dire Avengers. Not actually doing too much here. Dark Flames as well. And it should be able to pick off a model or two on retreat, but it's actually just going to run straight for that VP. But Banshee is going to be coming out with this Webway Gate. Chaos Sorcerer needs to retreat right away. And I don't know if he's going to be retreating in time. He is very low, 140 HP. Banshees are so quick. Chaos Sorcerer will go down. These Webway Gates have been absolutely brutal this game. Being able to snipe units just by popping out with some Banshees. These level 4 Banshees though, been level 4 for quite some time in fact, and we do actually have the Marker Horn upgrade coming in here for Ser Topi. Does need to be careful when he puts into Blood Rage mode that it doesn't actually chase the wrong squad. Maybe not even use the Blood Rage mode and just use it for its melee strength really. And Havocs as well coming in. Ser Topi looks like he might just focus on this left hand side VP just because it's very close to his natural VP as well. Units exiting out. Havocs going to be setting up. Undetected. Heretics need to pull back. Chains of Torment though is always going to get destroyed very quickly. These Havocs though doing a very nice ambush. Wraithguard going to do a decent amount of damage, and that's the problem with Blood Rage mode. He's actually attacking his own units here. Oh no, he's actually killing his own heretics. He really needs his own heretics. Blood Rage mode though does end, fortunately, here for Ser Topi. Heretics going to go in, but Heretics really lacking the models right now. Very nice grenade here for Tex. 2 nice grenades here for Tex. In fact, that second grenade, I thought I was going to go for the Heretics there, but that grenade is going to wipe the Havocs. Heretics desperately trying to build a shrine. The Dreadnought is going to go into Blood Rage mode. It's going to try and chase down these Fire Dragons. There's nothing to tie up the second squad of Fire Dragons though, and we do see Ser Topi is trying to cap. The Dreadnought is going to turn around here, but Fire Dragons are just going to kite around and going to constantly switch targets. This Webway Gate is still not destroyed, and the Warlock's going to exit this gate. Aspiring Champion Heretics do need to be careful here though. Banshees could come out the gate anytime soon. Demonic Summoning is going to be coming in. 91 VPs to 62. Ser Topi just really lacking the units this game. The Heretics are trying to come in, but they're going to suppress. They're going to fall back. Going to let the Bloodletters do the fighting. Let the Shrine do some damage from range. But I'm not really sure it's going to be enough. And it actually does look like it's enough. In fact, it looks like Banshees might even go down here. The Warlock though going to be jumping onto the Chaos Sorcerer. The Sorcerer not getting the Bloodletter support that it needs. But Heretics now going to go in for the cap onto the right hand side. Wraithguard are going to be protecting that right hand VP as well. Ser Topi still down to just 2 Heretic squads. In fact, he can't really afford anything else. He is buying some more Havocs. And Tex very low on requisition, very high on power though. 480 power stocked up. Been spending a lot more on requisition throughout this game. In fact, he hasn't really built generators. He's still only got the 1 generator. And just gone for a more rec heavy tier 2, an extremely rec heavy tier 2 in fact in comparison. Chaos Sorcerer still unable to cap though, 91 VPs to 62. We're actually going to have another Shrine of Zinc here, in fact. Double Direben's going to push in, Tex not having any webway gates in the area is going to be repurchasing one now, but this is a very scary army. Double Fire Dragons, double Dire Avengers, and level 4 Banshees. Level 4 Banshees with an X, like 1,650 health. They're very tanky right now. Warlock, though, still no upgrades other than an accessory. Does actually have Warp Throw. He's actually going to pull away these heretics, which would be a nice idea here. Sorcerer at very low. Havoc's going to be able to set up here and be able to do a nice job. Heretics now stopped worshipping. In fact, Heretics do need to both retreat out of here. They're very low. And Fire Dragons are not actually getting suppressed here. Dire Avengers are getting focused down by these Havocs here. Now everything's going to get focused. Grenade is going to get thrown. 2 grenades thrown onto the Havocs will actually almost wipe them. Havoc's going to be able to get away, but there's a lot of range fire coming in. 14 HP. I don't think Tex can actually chase this down. That Shrine of Zinc actually doing a little bit of damage here to these Dire Avengers. And Tex just going to go in for the left-hand VP. It's going to be a triple cap for him in a second. Warlock also capping the natural at the same time. Fire Dragons are sprinting in here. They do actually have the Warlock Global Fleet. And that Shrine of Zinc is going to go down. Ser Topi still down on just on double Heretics and Havocs really.
Let this blade strike terror in the
And
foes
I'd
of
say
Eldar.
it looks like Tex is going to win. I'm not sure if Ser Topi's actually got enough forces to push. In fact, he's not even got his Havocs reinforced. I don't think he has time to reinforce his Havocs, in fact. He's going to try and come in here. Dire Avengers, grenades are on cooldown right now. They were used onto the Havocs earlier. Chaos Sorcerer onto the right hand side. Wraith can't go inside the gate at the same time as well. But units couldn't always enter the gates in. We could actually see the Banshees enter the gate here and exit on the right hand side now. Don't know why it's showing Wraithguard models. There we go. And Heretic's going to be capping here. 91 VPs to 7 VPs. It's still a 1-0 cap here for Tex. Ser Topi is actually not going to be able to cap this in time, I don't think. And that's going to be game. Tex wiping so much of Ser Topi's army, and Ser Topi not able to do the same against Tex. And Tex is going to be able to pull in the victory after that massive power bash from Ser Topi and going for a very wreck heavy tier 1 instead. And that's going to be game.